Hello, this video is not sponsored. I bought this Twilight Motel set, which has nothing to do with the Twilight franchise. There's no IP here. It has 1,970 pieces and retails for $120 US. I got mine off Amazon for about $100 US shipped, which is about the same price as it is on their website as of the recording of this video. We'll look at the 5 figures a little bit later on. There is an included motorcycle and a car as well. Of course, the full light kit is included and fully integrated. I will turn down the lights in the room to show you that better in just a minute. I wanted to first show you what the whole thing looked like from the outside. You have a depth of 32 studs, a width of 48 studs. So it's about the size of 1 1/2 base plates. I'm using a USB power pack right now just for the sake of simplicity for me, but they include this AA battery pack. Just put 3 AA's in there. Or of course, obviously you can connect it to USB for long-term use. And there's also a secondary battery pack for the car because the little car has its own set of lights. Electricity is distributed throughout the entire building via thin wires and also contact connections between the floors. You can remove the floors individually. There are no pinched wires, or if there are any, it might be just a couple spots on the sign. It was kind of hard to tell, but if they are, it's absolutely minimal. For the most part, this does route the electricity around in a very safe way, a very reliable way, and the lengths of the wires were good on this one. The main signboard here mostly uses edge lighting, so you can see the LEDs are down here, and then you've got clear plastic, or mostly clear plastic behind there with very heavy prints over the top. There are no stickers in this set, and those, again, all just are connected to the main wiring system, with most of the wires being mostly hidden, and again, roughly the correct length, so I don't have a whole lot of excess left over. The set has some accents of drum lacquered silver or bright painted silver colored plastic, as well as quite a bit of fully molded, slightly darker silver colored parts that are just nice to see and add something else that's interesting, visually interesting to this. The carport, interestingly, has no light in it, which I actually feel is kind of appropriate for the creepiness of this mid-century style. This lets you see just what they're doing as far as the form factor for the base. So you've got just a plate and then tiles on top of that. And then that varies just a little bit depending upon what area you're on. But for the most part, you're looking at plate and then tiles. Little patio out here. They've got some down pipes, which are actually part of the structure that holds this kind of tubing that goes around. It's mostly just for the sake of looks. Just brings in something a little bit extra for it. You'll see some flickering in here. We'll look at the interior soon enough, but I was not expecting the effect lighting in there that automatically goes through some different animated effects. Again, everything that is a decoration in here is a print, and you'll see quite a lot of prints, like almost a ridiculous number of prints throughout the whole thing. The main office is down in there. You get this little tree that actually gets built right at the end, but most of it around the sides, and especially this side and around the back, is very, very plain. And I should also point out that because a lot of these pieces are, well, not a lot, but a fair number of these pieces, especially on the upper floor, are these panel pieces, which are relatively thin, and with this ivory color, this cream color, there is some light bleed that occurs. You see a little bit of glow that actually comes through from the inside. Right now, you're seeing a little bit of reflection, but some light does come through just a little bit in some areas, and that's not consistent. You can even see it here where it might look like some things are inconsistent in color. There's a slight inconsistency here, but most of what you're seeing is just more shadow right now, more of the darkness, because my room is brighter. The studio itself is brighter, so you're just seeing more of the darkness of the interior here. I didn't find the plastic, just looking at them side by side, I didn't find the plastic pieces to be that varied in color. There's actually more variance down here with some pieces that you can see that are actually the channel bricks that are used to route wires through the walls themselves. The upper level, instead of having a little ring going around it of a metallic style tube instead has what looks like neon. So you got a little bit of neonish glow coming from just underneath. And that's just done with a faux EL wire setup. It's just basically fiber optic tubing, a flexible plastic with just a little bit of cloudiness, a tiny bit of cloudiness to it. Actually could have used a little bit more translucency rather than transparency, but there's an LED at either end that's basically pumping purple light into there. And there's probably a little bit of UV in the spectrum there as well. Relatively, safe, harmless, just black light, but it's visible also. The light color is visible during the daytime, as you can see. And as you just look around the outside, lots more prints. So let's start tearing this apart so you can see the inside. I'm going to take you straight down to the ground floor first. So I'm going to take 2 floors off at once. And this company still has not fixed the one issue that they have with their electronic brick pieces, where they have the contact connectors between floors for safe removal. Those have too much clutch power. So the way to get around that is identify where those are so that they don't pull each other out. Identify where those are. In this case, there's one right here, and put pressure down on that side and kind of try to break those pieces apart by rotating it out. You should see the lights actually turn off. If the lights aren't turning off as you pull a floor off, there we go. That one just disconnected. That's a good thing. If they're not turning off, you're not doing it right, unfortunately. And that's really not your fault, but it's just this piece right here. This piece and the piece that it connects to, they like each other too much. And the company really needs to fix that to make it much easier to take these things apart without the trick. But if you know the trick, hey, it works most of the time. Again, the trick being identifying where those parts are. It's always just one per level, and then rotate the floor off this way. So pull it from the other side, push down on this side, pull up from the other side, and just make sure that they separate. Don't just rip the whole thing off. Otherwise you'll be pulling on some wires that might be stuck behind. So here we have a full bar with a lit up bottle wall back there. Now, originally, I thought it was the lights in the bottle wall that were responsible for the flashing and the disco lights and all the fancy stuff that you can see going on from the outside, but I was completely wrong about that. I thought it was on a timer, but no, those lights are from under here. So it's those guys there. You've got one additional just area light underneath the entrance, but I can't really show you that because of that, because all of this has to be taken off to show you the interior. I can almost smell the cigarette smoke in this space because the setting, it's got 1,970 pieces. Shout outs to Twitch Mod Robot Wizard for recognizing that. That's probably the year that this is set. And over on the side, they also have a spot for the bartender to get in and out. So just that part of the door is able to close it up. You actually build the bottle wall separately, and it just kind of pushes down in there as the first thing that you do that actually has lighting and electronics attached to it. Dart wall over there. More prints, and of course the very obvious pool table there, or snooker table, take it as you wish. Traditionally, I've always heard of it called as pool table. Lots more prints there, just the references to travel, and especially Americana style of memorabilia wall. Unfortunately, these seats don't really work. They're nicely cushioned. They use the inverted tile piece there to give it that cushiony look, but they don't work because a figure can't actually sit on them. It doesn't matter what type of figure you're using. They're rounded the wrong way. You got a jukebox over here, which is intended to be, even in this era, an old classic that's been restored. So as of the time of the universe in which this is set, it's probably like 30 years old already. Got another poster over there as well. The jukebox itself can be removed separately. You can see a number of prints. 4 prints were used for that. A nice, decent sized, reasonable sized, but large-ish build. And here's a general look at the floor plan of this level. And there's one thing missing here, isn't there? The office. I said the office was over here. Well, the office has to be the bar. So whoever works at this place, this is where you go, and they will be, and this is where you get your keys and stuff. I was expecting just a small little office, just a little nook, but no, none of that. This is all for entertainment. Let's take the roof off and look at the upper floor. Again, identify where that 1x4 pair of pieces is with the connectors, and lift off against it. And I'm watching this light here, making sure that that separates. There, it just separated. So this should now be safe. I'm still going to be careful. Yep. Okay. And there's the piece. So that did separate. Make sure that this is still connected, and it is. Everything's all good. There's quite an extensive upper walkway here, which again, I think is appropriate to the setting, but it gives you plenty of spaces to put figures and to imagine them going around. You can kind of squeeze a figure sideways here, but not really walking, just straight through that space. Prints, once again, downpipes, once again, used to help route the tubing there, or the flexible hose style piece. More prints. I really like the revival of these pieces here, which are a copy from the Lego design from quite some time ago, but these are done in clear, which I haven't seen anybody ever do before. And it makes it look like traditional horizontal aluminum Venetian blinds, at least to me. It just feels kind of old. I like that texture. It feels appropriate to me. It's kind of set the scene. Again, more always more prints out here, and this balcony has a little spot where you can bring some drinks, and this is just the cart for the cleaning service to go around and do their work at the two rooms in this space. This is the smaller of the two rooms. You can see the bed there with the duvet cover pulled back, and the green is the color of the sheet inside. The telephone print actually has all the numbers inside of the dial. The finger holes actually have the numbers in there. You have to look really, really close, probably under artificial magnification to see it, but I appreciate the detail. I did want to, rather than taking this floor off so that I can just manipulate it around and show you everything easily, I wanted to leave the lights on so you can see more of the mood lighting that is created in here, because this is a gold piece that's over this LED. A little bit of the wiring shows here, not too much, but that gold piece just dims it down so much and gives it such an orangish yellow cast, which I feel is just really appropriate. That very deep tungsten look. They've got the classic avocado colored curtains over here, some nice little end tables with nice part usage, just good little details that I think are pretty appropriate for the era, and they still leave enough space in the floor space for a figure to be in here, maybe even two. And then the restroom in the back corner is using absolutely minimal space. This is intended to represent a mirror right here. Rather than a full door, they give you a cape, kind of a cape piece, just a cloth piece that you can fan fold the way that I did, or just kind of stuff it onto there to create your privacy. This is supposed to represent a towel hanging from the side. It's a wet floor sort of bathroom, so the shower head is directly above. It's really minimizing the use of space, but the toilet bowl is back there, and also a little shelf with, I'm assuming, shampoo and conditioner. And then finally you got the CRT TV over there, which is not getting good signal right now. Somebody needs to adjust the rabbit ears on it. But that is, once again, of course, a print. And most of the pieces on that TV are silver colored. The larger room has a similar overall layout. Once again, TV is just larger with a larger piece of furniture. Different channel is on the TV there. The restroom is pretty much identical to the other one, but you have more floor space here, fancier wall sconce. There's a small chair off to the side, which a figure can fit in. And you've got this kind of dating mural up on the wall, and a larger, more cozy looking bed, and also the minty aqua colored curtains instead of the more dreary avocado color. The larger room also has exclusive access to the balcony back here with a seat. That chair can't really be used because it's got a cushion, the suggestion of cushion, which is this convex shape there. So not the most effective, good looking, but not the most usable. And there's that one single light outside. The roof is a little bit trickier to attach than I would like it to be, just because there are a bunch of things underneath. There's a lot of overhang here, and there are a number of slots where things need to be arranged. So if it doesn't immediately fit, just look from underneath and kind of see, where something is blocking. You might have to just massage it back and forth a little bit. Not a big deal, not a big issue, but I did want to call that out in case you do get this and then find that you're having a problem there. It's really not that big of a problem. Just scooch things around a little bit, and then it'll settle into place. So finally, the other sign, obviously got lots of signage over there, but the other sign here, this one's lit by just a single LED. It's important to angle this correctly. You'll get a big difference if it's angled up too much versus if it's angled just right. It'll light up a lot more in a darker setting. I like the build of the arrow here, the fact that it actually is a build rather than just using another print or specialized piece, but a couple of UV prints here, and then all of this antenna stuff back here for reception. Probably the satellite dish is not the most appropriate thing to include for this suggestion of era, but the rest of it I think is fine. Here's a quick look at the car, which is a 6-stud wide convertible with lights as well. Where does the power come from for this thing? Since you see no wires here, it has an onboard battery box. It uses the nice little thin one, which conveniently fits underneath. That takes 2 watch batteries, 2032s, and it powers 4 LEDs in total, 2 in the back, 2 in the front. The power of them is good. The power output, the light output is good. You got some nice silver color going around the sides, nice drum lacquered or painted silver right down here through the center, and also for the wheels themselves. A really, really weird configuration though for the interior. You can sit a figure there, but then what about the other side? The other side doesn't make sense. You can take that divider out, but then it's going to be difficult to put 2 figures side by side. I don't know exactly what they were thinking there. Interesting wheels. First time I've ever seen a steering wheel piece like that with the silver color for it, which is nice. And also this kind of secretly has a front trunk. So this was supposed to be a Corvair, I guess. Cause yeah, there's a frunk in this thing. Overall, it looks nice. It's classy. It's definitely different. And feels right to me. And it's nice that in spite of it looking good, it's reasonably sized and has the lights going through it. I just wish that the seating configuration was a little bit more flexible. There's also this recognizable motorcycle with just a few pieces, very specialized pieces used for it. It's nice that the frame though and the wheels are in that drum lacquered silver as well, which I've just never seen these with that sort of finish, and they go together just fine. You also got the little kickstand off to the side. The motorcycle rider is there on the left, and unfortunately I just realized that at the beginning of the video I had one of the torsos swapped. I really, really hope that there isn't a sea of comments focusing only on that one super, super insignificant detail, because that tends to happen on YouTube. Sometimes it's extremely frustrating, but here are 3 of the figures. It's unfortunate that the visor piece here is not completely clear. It's just a little bit cloudy, but they do at least give you an alternate headgear piece there in the form of this hairpiece. It's weird though that the color of the eyebrows, color of the rest of the facial hair, and then the color of the head hair, none of that matches. It's 3 different things. You got some prints around the backs, no alternate faces for these. And these are the other 2 figures. I think that the print quality is pretty decent on these. Looking at the skin tone, for example, it matches not bad, even on the one that's printed on black here. I think that their white prints on black are a little bit lacking though. Always a big platter of leftover pieces from this company. So this is their brick separator. They give you tweezers to help route wires if you need help with that. This is a small screwdriver for their battery boxes, extra hands and arms, a bunch of miscellaneous stuff here, some of which made me worry that I had missed some things, but it does not look like I missed anything. These are extra parts for wire management. You can see that they've got some specialized ones that have channels and grooves in them. These are studs on both sides, so it's literally the same thing on both sides. Excellent for changing direction, 180 degrees in almost no space. And this is the opposite of that. So it's anti-stud on both sides that they used in one of the builds in this. I think it was the jukebox. Again, it's 1,970 pieces for a maximum of $120 US. The value here feels excellent to me. The mood and the level of character of this thing. It's odd what they chose to pick as a little slice of time and life, but they did a really, really good job of it. Once again, very, very reverent, I think, to the source material that they're going for, all the way down to even the car. The electronics work well. The routing of wires is very, very good. This is one of their most recent sets, and therefore they've learned the most and applied the most of their learnings up to this point. The only issue continues to be that specialized 1x4 piece for contact power distribution to the next level just needs to be treated with with care. Hopefully they will fix that soon enough, but otherwise, fantastic value here. Doesn't look great around the back, very plain around the back, but doesn't look bad at least. And I just love the stuff that's here, and the values ridiculous, just ridiculous. So I hope that this has brought some useful information to you. If you're interested in purchasing something from this company or from Amazon, please consider using one of my affiliate links in the video description. That is what I use to buy more sets to review for you. Obviously, there are a ton more that I could go through if I could afford to, and I want to bring as much content to you as I possibly can. So again, thank you for your support, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye for now.